So for many of you who have been loungers of this channel for a long time, do you guys remember this video a long time ago where James put out this in order to rebut my analyzing advice series? Okay, so over here is his reseller reaction to Pegasus Lounge about low STR stuff. If you scroll down here, there's actually a comment by Carrie at Home where she says, I like what you're saying, James. I think maybe you were trying to say that he's building a straw man with the low STR model. I appreciate your insights on the low STR model. I found myself chuckling a few times with your commentary too. Okay, great. So over here, the argument is basically this. He's trying to say how to make low STR work, while Pegasus is telling you don't buy low STR things. Look, it's one thing for you guys to go out and get a haul of 20, 30 items, and we are in this trial and error area where we're trying to figure out what's going to fly quickly and what's not. But if you already know it's low STR, then just don't pick it up and then invest your money somewhere. It's called opportunity cost. And that's exactly what I tried to depict in this particular video. He spent about a whole hour trying to debunk classic opportunity cost. Okay, so of course, the guy who makes videos about this hoard will make you cry happy tears, who thinks that hoarding stuff is a positive thing, as well as the bubble that he's created for himself, where you got comments over here where hoard, I see money, is going to definitely make a justification video about this type of hoarding behavior, right? So when you watch this particular clip, this is what he has to say.
Much stuff. I'm gonna put you over here. I can't see. What do you see? Let me know. Let me know what you see.
You don't even know what you have? Hey, what's going on, loungers? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Baseless T, and I'm a 20+ year importer and product developer. So I make a lot of debunk critique type videos in this reseller space on YouTube because there's a lot of tomfoolery going on when it is the beginning area of e-commerce. This is where people begin. So this is also where people get taken advantage of by a lot of bad actors. My mission is to educate people and show them the stuff that they would not have caught on their own, as well as do a couple of educational videos myself. So you guys already see that the critique mode lights are on in the back, and we're gonna get right into it right now. So just when I thought in the world between Pegasus and James Helferstay, we have gone our separate ways and we have peace in the world, when I did this video, James even chimed in all the way over here, if I could direct your attention to the comment area, somewhere around here, Helferstay. And he replies in a very foghorn leghorn kind of way where he says, I just click on this video because I found something fishy with Upflip. Ugh, what is life coming to? And I replied to him, welcome, James. Doesn't reply to me. Now I know exactly what John from Flippin' Ain't Easy is talking about because John reached out and no response from James. So this guy, in my opinion, is clearly nobody's friend. So here's the thing. I was going to do a carry at home video, and we are going to do that in this particular video. However, he also did a carry at home video. And you know what? I applaud people calling out other people, but you have to have proper insight. You have to have good receipts. You have to show people exactly what the issue is, right? And it can't just be baseless, so to speak. So I want you to hear what James has to say about a carry at home first, and then we'll take it from there because there's a lot of stuff to cover.
To call out the name Carry at Home.
Ooh.
Like I said, they're local St. Louis people. They're good people. But when you charge people for information, you're going to be held to a higher standard. So,
you know who else should be held to a higher standard? People who do critique videos of other people. I 100% hold myself to a higher standard. Now, as you guys could probably tell, the tone of Pegasus Lounge from when it started 17 months ago till today has shifted a lot. And I want to direct you guys to this particular comment from CK Roll 33. I love what CK Roll has to say. He says to James, I appreciate you making this video because so do I. I like the idea of a community trying to hold itself accountable. But he says, calling out resellers for charging money for garbage information is a grift, and there are too many reselling grifters on YouTube. I am disgusted with it since the information being provided is not substantiated based on feelings and not facts, uneducated, lacking proper context, and it does not come from business educated people. But secondly, I do not agree with you when it comes to Pegasus Lounge. He calls out people and shares factual information. Pegasus laughs at times because how can you not? It's laughable, supercilious content when he reviews other people's grifts. That's exactly the point. 100%. I love what he has to say over here because you know what? This is very representative of what Pegasus Lounge is. All of the loungers who subscribe to this channel do not make baseless arguments. They will tell you exactly what the issue is, where it comes from, why, and the how, right? So awesome what he has to say. Now, here's the thing. What this guy has to say, as far as his criticism, will be the complete opposite of that. Let's go.
Going off their numbers.
He's about to cry. Gonna hear the
They're
sniffles.
working 9 to 5, not working weekends now. Family of 2 with children.
Think of the kids.
And their numbers, from what I saw in the video, and if I'm wrong here, let me know.
See, I used to watch this stuff with the utmost empathy as well. I took it serious. I try to be professional about it. But the more I do this channel, the more of the tomfoolery that you see is happening here.
Said that their take home is about $86,000 a year for 2 people with a family.
Where are you going with this?
And of course, that comes down to like 40-something thousand, 42-ish, $3-ish thousand per person.
Yes, 80 divided by 2 is 40.
To work a 9 to 5 job. And my first thought was, ain't that technically poverty?
Guys, honestly, I don't even know how to feel about this content anymore, okay? The takes are wild. Joint income of $80,000 is considered poverty. Guys, if we just do a quick Google search right here, let me blow it up for you guys, okay? Let me just do this. In 2026, the US federal poverty guidelines, right? A household of 4 is about $32,000. Listen, I'm not saying these numbers are super accurate. We don't necessarily have to go by these particular numbers, but what I can tell you is that $80,000 is really far away from $30,000, okay? It's more than double the amount. So we're not even close to what the poverty line is. This is your critique. This is your criticism. Okay, we're gonna come back to this in a little bit, right? Because he had a lot of stuff to say about me as well. So we're gonna put this on hold. So let's start off here with Carrie Holmes' channel. This is what James is complaining about, that she is offering classes to teach people how to do reselling while living in the poverty line. First of all, I hardly think that their joint income of $86,000, which is what they claim, is anywhere even near the poverty line. But then James is twisting the whole thing to frame it as, why would you pay somebody to teach you how to live in poverty? I think that's messed up. And that the problem, right, is that when you say something like this, it makes even Pegasus want to defend Carrie at home, because you're not saying something that's fair. It has to be a proper assessment of what the problem actually is. So here's the real critique, okay? When we go over to the reseller workshop over here, let me just show you how much it costs. She's got 257 members. She actually had 258 members just about an hour ago. And then when you click become a member, it's $25 a month. But we have to dissect what is in here. That's what the real issue is. There's nothing wrong with selling education, doing courses, and trading tit for tat. There's nothing wrong with doing videos for the views. Is your video of quality content? Are you offering value to your viewers? Are you doing the same thing with your courses? And if you are, then I will sing your praises. But that's not what's happening here. We've debunked the videos that she's done ad nauseum, actually, right? So she's got this post over here about sell-through rate. And if you can see her whiteboard, it is about active 100, sold 100. Divide these two together, then you have 100% STR, et cetera, et cetera. I've showed you guys videos where she doesn't even really know the material of how to calculate STR properly. What you're really doing here is some roundabout method as a, better than nothing on the fly kind of estimation of thumbs up, thumbs down, whether you should pick something up. But what's actually happening in the math is closer to this. We shouldn't use 100 over 100 because the two numbers are too similar, so it's very difficult to understand. Let's say there are 10 active and 100 sold. So therefore, there's 10 times the amount of sold to the amount of active. So you should just leave it at a 10-to-1 ratio. And that would be a proper depiction of what's going on to let you know that, hey, should I do this or not? But even if something is at a 10-to-1 ratio, you still have to consider how much volume of it is being done over the course of 90 days for it to be even considered, okay, this is a heavily traded item. There are other people who would talk about other considerations, such as if you're doing clothing, you also have to consider seasonality. Because what happens during seasonality, if we take an example like Justin Resells, who recently sold like more than 100 space heaters, at the beginning of the season, when it's starting to get cold, your sold comps would what? It would look really bad because nobody's selling anything right now. But he has preemptively purchased it and he's going to sell them into the cold season, which makes sense. So therefore, sold comps would be low, but it's actually a prime time to sell those space heaters. After the Q4 is over and now the temperature is getting warmer, nobody's buying space heaters anymore. But your sold comps actually would be really good because what? Sold comps is a constant snapshot of the 90-day past. So there's so much more nuance to understand when doing the sell-through rate that this is hibbity hoobla, this will not help you. And this is why so many people, while they swear by it, when you press them on it, they finally admit it doesn't work all the time. Why? Because of other considerations. Why were those other considerations not considered? Okay. So let's move on to about sourcing inventory, right? You already seen many of her videos of her and her husband go out to Goodwill. So you just can't go outside and drive around and figure out like different Goodwills and then figure out a route and then hit up a couple of Goodwills and Salvation Armies and then come home. Why do you need this? This is exactly why experienced resellers are appalled when they see this kind of content that you are pushing on the beginners. Creating the perfect listing, okay? So this is about how to take professional photos. Everybody in this space has how to take a photo kind of video, right? And then the next one is even funnier, which is the shipping part. How to seal a poly mailer, how to tape up a box. There you go, right? So this is $25 a month of Netflix of what you're getting, okay? And this is why people are looking at this and people are blowing the whistle. So the next piece of evidence that I have for you guys requires a little bit of a backstory that most people know about, which is Chris from Daily Refinement was the guy who started the whole guru mentorship thing about reselling on YouTube. So he started off with like the reseller Nirvana group, and Tech and Sports used to be one of the speakers in that group until Chris got a little bit too greedy with his dealings on eBay and then got his account banned. Now, when that happened, immediately Tech and Sports distanced himself and then started his own group, which is the Reseller Greatness Group. Now, Carrie at Home used to be part of that group until she started her own. But I want you to hear what Chris has to say first.
So what do I actually need to do to start a resale company? So all the information on what to do with the reselling is already out there on the internet for free.
So all the information on what to do with reselling is already out there for free. So could you please explain to me what was the courses that he was trying to sell and how Tech and Sports started off as part of his group a year ago, and now he's selling courses of like reseller greatness, reseller nirvana, and all that stuff, when the godfather of reselling himself is telling you right here, right now, that everything that you need to know is already out there on the internet for free. So let's come back to review of what's been going on her channel. So initially, she started off with this particular video, which is a new series about how tiny stores have big potential. I'm starting a 1 item a day eBay store to see how much money it can make. Why would this work? On what universe dimension would this work? The whole idea of going out, whether you were doing 5 items a day, 10 items a day, 30 items a day, it doesn't matter. Every single trip that you go out, you want to maximize its efficiency by bringing back as many things that you can that you deem a good pickup. So what she's doing here flips the whole thing on its head by doing one item a day. Why would this have big potential? Your max potential would be to be able to sell one item a day because you're only listing up to one item a day. This thing makes no sense. So if you follow the series and then later on when she starts doing the recaps and then what happened to the one a day stuff, it ends up being in red, being in the negatives, where she even plays the sad trombone meme herself on herself, okay? So this last video was done on November 17th. So there was no Christmas video, there was no Thanksgiving video, there was no New Year's video. 3 months go by, finally she comes back, and then she does this particular one. And then this video ended up just being basically a nifty commercial. Now, again, I love the Ask AI button over here because now you have the full summary. And this thing was all about cross-listing, right? And she has her affiliate link carry at home here. So I don't know if this is enough proof to show you about how some people are strictly just in it for the money and the views. They do not have people's interest in mind. See, I'm not against any of the sponsorship endorsement courses or whatever, but there has to be a fair tit for tat. Otherwise, you are dealing in item not as described. And as fellow eBayers, including myself, we all understand what that means. This is cheating people, right? So, in this one, she specifically talks about Nifty and then cross-listing over to Poshmark. Okay, I have a couple of friends who also do Poshmark. And what they could tell you is that it's basically like a 80-20 of their eBay and their Poshmark, meaning that most of their stuff is 4 times as likely to sell on eBay as opposed to Poshmark. That means that things that you cross-listed from eBay over to Poshmark is 80% likelihood that you would list and then delist it because it's got sold over at eBay. So when this happens, Poshmark doesn't like this behavior, and then what happens? You get suspended, you get banned. They send you a letter for this. So here's her addressing that right here.
Well, it's for worse. Poshmark currently they don't necessarily have anything against cross-listing, but they do punish people who delist more items than they feel like they should. It's up for their judgment. Occasionally, if more items sell on other platforms and they get delisted from your Poshmark store because they're no longer available, then Poshmark starts flagging that as like delisting policy rule violation, and then they suspend your account. They'll send you an email. I do this about once a month. I just simply respond back, short, sweet, and professional, just saying like, hey, I'm only delisting items that are just no longer available for sale because they sold on other platforms. I would like to be reconsidered for a reinstatement of my account. And usually it takes about a day, sometimes a couple days, but my account comes back and then I can continue on cross-listing to Poshmark, creating new listings, and it's fine. I like
this whole video. I have no idea how to feel about any of this, okay? Because the absurdity now, when have you ever heard a commercial that goes something like this? You know, yeah, but you know, this is what it's recommended for you to cross-list where? You know, to Poshmark, even though you get banned month in, month out, but it's not a big deal. You just write to them and then they'll unban you in a day. Well, maybe not a day, but look, use my affiliate link, teehee. Like, this is ridiculous, okay? So let's go on to the next video. So originally, I just touched on this and then I moved on from it because it's really not worth doing a full critique video on. But then we move on to this video. Oh my goodness, okay? So this is the most recent one that they do, and this is the thumbnail of them trying to show their numbers, trying to flex their numbers, trying to be transparent resellers of how well they're doing, okay? So I wanna show you guys this. Oh, also, have you noticed that the intro looks a lot like mine?
Hey guys, today I'm opening up our reselling books to show you how well our business.
Okay, so this is the reselling book right here. Before we get into this, I want to show you this video that I made where they tried to show their numbers this other time a couple of months ago and why it didn't sit well with me. So I want you guys to have a listen to this. All right, so I want you guys to watch this clip with me and then see if you're also able to pick out exactly why this clip stood out to me. Like, what's wrong with it? Okay, so let's watch it together.
All right. So, post-edit Carrie, I just realized I edited out the number talk, a quick rundown of the
Oops. So let's just be clear, right? We would never delete the original A-roll while we're editing something. Okay, so this makes no sense. So to give you a little backstory on that one, what ended up happening is that they gave projection numbers rather than their actual numbers. Look, you're the one who wants to come on camera to tell people what you're doing. So when people say, okay, then how much have you earned? Well, we're on track to make, that's not what people asked. And that's not what the thumbnail and your title was trying to say. That's why it's deceptive. What's with the smoke and mirrors on that one? So if you watch my original critique, that's what it was all about. So when we come back here, the same tomfoolery happens again. Look at this book. It's 2 pieces of tape left and right. You might catch it, you might not catch it. I'm just going to skip over to the section where I basically am beside myself, not knowing whether to laugh or to be outraged by it, okay? So you guys take a look for yourself and see if you don't catch the same thing.
forms. We did $281,248.37, which is a good amount more than what we did last year, which I'm pretty proud of that because I had a baby and took time off for like the first half of this year. We did pretty good. And we'll talk more about that later on in the video with the workload and stuff. But back to the numbers. So we did $281,000 in sales. From that, we spent $50,454.72 on fees, like the platform fees.
What's the problem? The problem is, as we go through this whole video, okay, it's just her writing numbers on papers. Would you guys like to know how much I really make? Give me a piece of paper. Like, who does this? Who does this? Seriously, okay? Let me show you the stuff. Okay, now, here's where it gets wild. Here's where it gets super wild, okay? And crazy for you guys. You guys ready for this? I do critique videos over and over again of all sorts of YouTubers and other creators because I hold up a mirror to them and then people don't like that. This time, I think we need to hold up a mirror to the audience, to the people who are watching this stuff. I'll show you why. I'm just going to scroll down over here so allow the comments to load so that we're doing this together. Right? And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to hit Control F and then I'm going to search for the word trans because I'm looking for the word transparency. So here, this was so great. Your honesty and transparency is so helpful. Are you kidding me? Love this video. Great transparency. Excellent video, Carrie. Thanks for being open and transparency. This is not even the right grammar about your earnings in 2025. This is how you show transparency? Says you who wrote it on a piece of paper? This is transparency in 2026 now. This is how we get away from. See, this is what I mean, right? At this point, I can't even critique Carrie anymore. Because look at the bubble. So I don't know what's going on here anymore, right? This is exactly what happened when I first arrived onto the reseller scene. A whole bunch of people resonated with my message because everybody's like, before you, Peg, I don't know if I'm being gaslit or not. Am I crazy? Like what is happening here? It's such an inefficient way to do sales. And then the stuff that they're saying, like everybody feels gaslit. And video after video, I start to show you guys that all of your suspicions were true. But now we're at a point where people are eating this stuff up, no problem. So as much as I want to help people, as much as I want to protect people, as much as I want to show them what the grift is, I can't because people buy this as transparency. You can't make this up. So what's happening here? What's actually happening here? Are these just a bunch of shill comments? Or are they real? Or all of the other counter comments are being policed and removed right now? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Okay? This is not my channel. But what I can tell you is that other than that, this video, right, segues into a relay commercial, actually, right? So this is, here we go. There we go. There you go. Relay with a QR code over here, right? This is
Much
the banking
simpler.
stuff.
So if you're
et
looking for a more organized way to manage your business money this year, you can scan the QR code or click the link in the description to see if Relay is a good fit for you. So
So essentially, after a 3-month hiatus, she comes back with 2 commercials, okay, and a full transparency book. This book is not even used before, right? With a Sharpie marker to write down her figures. And everybody's like, wow, that's amazing. You guys make a lot of money. Now, what's even crazier about this is that I don't know where James Helferstay gets the 86,000 from, because that's not what she wrote in the book at the end. So what is going on? What is going on with the world right now? What kind of critique video is James doing? Like, I have no words. I have no words, guys. Okay, now circling back to James's video, I'm going to show you guys why I did this.
To call out the name Carry at Home.
Right. So here's what you're not going to do. You're not going to call out Carrie at Home and not put her face on the thumbnail or tag her in some way like the way you tagged me, or put her name in the title somehow. It's not in this description. It's not anywhere here. So we're just quietly calling out Carrie at Home. So brave. Yet at the same time, his observations of how he's calling her out is that she's in poverty. This is weird. This is super crazy, okay? Now, we're going to get into the parts where he talks about me. So let's start with this.
Pegasus Lounge is the one who's, I think, stirring up the most. I believe, you know, in my eyes, he's doing it wrong. He's doing it from the wrong place. He's doing it from, in my opinion, an ego-fueled base. When somebody laughs at their own statement as much as he does, you can tell that it's coming from a kind of narcissistic ego place.
I see.
Just from being able to read people and that kind of thing. So you can tell where it's coming from just by watching the mannerisms of someone.
So how can you tell he's egotistical? You know, it's by watching, you know, you could just tell.
So I'm not a fan of the way he does things.
I'm not the fan of the way you do things.
And that's just because of where it comes from. Now, like I said, everybody needs confidence and a little bit of ego to get through things in life, especially the rough stuff. As I said, growing up, people used to say I had an ego.
Oh,
and I just
too?
told them, no, I got confidence.
Oh, you have
I know
confidence.
where I'm going to get somewhere.
I see. Okay. So when people call you egotistical, you have confidence. But when people call me egotistical, it's got to be narcissistic. I see how this works. Thank you for that. Okay. So now let's move on to this portion. You're going to love this. Super rich.
Like Pegasus Lounge did a video on me. I never watched it. I haven't watched it. I don't care.
Oh, yeah? You haven't watched it? Okay. So time to pull the receipts. Look, I did this video on him, and I actually got a little bit of pushback from my own subscribers saying that I went too easy on him because I was not looking to try to destroy the guy. I didn't want to do that, okay? Because that's not what Pegasus Lounge was about. But if you're going to put out this kind of content on me and then call out Carrie at Home in this weird, like you're going to do all this craziness, actually, okay? Then started to have to point out stuff. So this was the thumbnail that I put out, which is how he had $160,000 in debt. Listen, I didn't go fishing through his stuff. He tagged me in this video, and that's how I knew. So this is what he had to say, and I put it all the way in the beginning of the video so you can't miss it.
Nobody in their right mind's probably going to do it the way I did it, where I built up $160,000 in debt with a $60,000 car on top of that,
Okay, now I want to show you guys. I dropped this video on October 15th, 2025. Immediately, on October 16th, okay? 2025 over here, October 16th, right? He does this thumbnail. So you telling me you never seen it? Yet this is kind of related, isn't it? How did that happen? So I want you to hear what he has to say.
But first I want to say, because there are more and more people who don't watch my content, but they're believing lies.
How do you know?
Someone magically created on their channel. No, there is
Which channel?
$160,000 in debt. No, sadly, no. If you watch my video.
But I don't know who to believe. The James that said that he's 160,000 in debt, or the James that says that he's not.
Because you know how that story goes.
How does it go?
You know that there was $160,000 in debt.
Okay, so
and
then
you know how it got eliminated.
Okay.
And it's through reselling. So if you watch,
I see. So he just said that it is through reselling. Okay. Now I want to show you guys over here, right? That this is a video 2 years ago by Josh Galt. And the #1 comment here with 47 uptick votes is from somebody claiming to be James Helferstay's wife. Hi, Josh. This is my boring reseller life wife. I appreciate the honesty about reselling and the hard work. James puts in tons of hours daily nonstop. Money does not just come. My son ships for us 10 years ago and longer. I worked overtime as a pharmacist to help carry the business. But didn't James just say that it was paid for just with reselling? It's been hard work nonstop. It took 15 plus years to pay for most inventory. I pick on my days off or help list. Now, here's the thing. This handle says user-WZ40. So who knows if she is who she says she is. But then James posts over here basically confirming that's who it is. And then Josh also replies, "Hi, Jan, thank you so much for this message." So I can only deduct that this is actually her and she is who she says she is. So nobody's making up anything. Nobody's twisting anything at all. And in this summary over here, at some point, this is him trying to say that they are officially millionaires.
And actually, not only are we not in debt, because of investments in stock market, we are actually officially this year, within the last 2 weeks, technically millionaires.
I don't dispute this, because I'm just going to say I don't know what to believe, honestly. All right, guys, time for a little bit of final thoughts. So I want to put out there that doing Pegasus Lounge, debunking stuff, calling people out, critiquing things is way harder than it looks, okay? It's not so simple that you just talk some trash about people and then good night, everyone. You have to have actual expertise. You have to have an actual business literacy background in order to do this, right? You have to be more knowledgeable than the person that you're critiquing. Otherwise, how do you prove what you're saying is correct in order to help other people? It can't just be you out here saying that people who are making $80,000 are at the poverty line. Pretty sure $80,000 is not the poverty line anywhere in the world, especially in USD, okay? So this is some wild takes. And when you think about all the shenanigans and the wild takes that is happening in this reseller space, look, it's exactly as what CK Roll just said, right? As we were doing this in the beginning, we try to be empathetic, we try to understand, we try to be helpful, we try to be professional about it. But once you start seeing what it actually is, there really is no other room for this other than to laugh these people off of the internet. Because it absolutely is absurd, all the things that they're doing and saying, to the point where we're now even catching a lot of people who could just watch somebody write some numbers on a piece of paper and then thank them for their honesty. Are you serious? Anyways, guys, that is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a big like. And if you learned something, please consider subscribing. As always, see you guys in the next